shabby stuffed specimens from an English museum. Looking up at a 3-year-old big cat, even a stuffed one, and realizing just how tall it is understandably an unsettling experience for a 4-year-old human. The pride's territory of between 25 and 100 square miles belongs to the females who occupy it for many years. The males are outsiders who spend about 2 years consorting with these females. To ensure the safety of their cubs, they protect the territory, conspicuously patrolling its borders and roaring. Urine sprayed onto prominent bushes along the borders leaves a pungent message that lingers for days. For any strange male, the signs are clear. Stay away. The territory is occupied. This investment in time and energy by the pride males is worthwhile. It increases the chance of raising cubs and so passing on their genes. But they really do not have much time in which to raise a family, and there are always outsiders waiting and watching. For these young nomadic males, time is also of the essence. At around the age of 4, after a year or so spent wandering and perhaps befriending other males, they must find a group of females to take over and mate with. They are coming into their prime. They must make their move now. The resident male has a large investment in his cubs and will fight fiercely to protect them. But he also has to consider the cost of defending that investment. Male lions are sometimes killed in takeover fights, defending or attacking, but usually it is a matter of numbers. And when push comes to shove, an outnumbered lion is wise to back down. Because they are armed with such lethal weapons, lions try to avoid fighting. The resident male is eased off the territory with a long chase. And these heavy animals, unused to distance running, are soon foaming at the mouth. At the edge of his territory, the male makes a stand, and the advantage of numbers is immediately obvious. Even with the upper hand, the 2 young intruders avoid a frontal attack. A bite to the spine is a killing bite for a lion. But again, if they can avoid it, if they can reach a decision on points, they will not escalate the conflict to where one of them might be killed. 2 to 1 is really no contest. It's just a matter of establishing the new order firmly and clearly. The king is down. Long live the kings. Any immature males living with the pride are chased away too. They are of no benefit to the new pride owners. They're just more mouths to share the food supply. Again, this is done with minimum force. The young males are threatened and pressured, and so persuaded to move out. They will now spend a year or two as nomads, growing in strength and experience. Then they too will have their chance to take over a pride. The new masters of the pride have come for the females. One sniffs the spot where a lioness has urinated. Wary of these new and strange males, the females have wisely gone into hiding. But in this hide-and-seek game of life, there is another and more immediate problem for these males. They cannot mate until the lionesses come into season. But the females already have cubs, and so will not be ready to mate for another year or more. The new males simply cannot wait that long for their chance to father some cubs of their own. They are in their prime now, and may only have possession of the females for 2 years. Just 2 years in which to ensure their genetic patrimony. They cannot afford to look after another male's cubs. They cannot spend their short time at the top protecting another lion's young whilst waiting for their turn to mate. They have done their waiting out there on the plains, where they wandered for years in search of this opportunity. They can wait no longer. If the females lose their cubs, they will come into season within days. The imperative for the new males is overwhelming. They must kill the cubs. Despite all the years of research into lion behavior, infanticide has rarely been seen and never before filmed. For all its apparent ferocity, the killing is only an expression of the urgent demands of the situation. But if the male's behavior seems harshly pragmatic, perhaps the female's is even more surprising. Bereft of their cubs, the females now have exactly the same drives as the new males. They can expect around 2 years of stability. If they are to raise cubs, they must start immediately. Within as little as 24 hours after losing their cubs, the females come into season and start flirting outrageously with the new males. The females are nervous at first, a bit scared of the new males, but the orgies in the first few months after a takeover are a good icebreaker, and soon strong bonds are formed. Despite this appearance of eager compliance, the females have a trump card to play. For them, takeovers are uncertain times. The new males may themselves be ousted by other more powerful coalitions of males. So despite all this mating, the lionesses do not become pregnant until the new males have been with them for 3 months. By then they have shown they've got what it takes to protect the territory and their new family. Within 6 months, the pride will again have cubs. The lionesses need to raise these cubs successfully, and it seems that by grouping together, they might provide a better defense against the disruptions of the larger and more powerful males. Very little was known about the dynamics of takeovers, and the opportunities for observing them are rare. So Craig Packer and Anne Pusey resorted to experiments to test their ideas. They played tape recordings of the roars of a strange male to groups of lionesses with cubs and recorded the results on video for analysis. On hearing a strange male lion calling, the females immediately close ranks and approach aggressively, while the cubs move back. It's an impressive show of combined force, and a very good reason for forming groups. But it is not just against males. In order to defend their territory and ensure a constant food supply and a place to raise cubs, it is just as important to keep out neighboring females, and the larger female groups are more successful at this. But what about male lions? They lead very different lives to lionesses. This 4-year-old and his companion are nomads with no territory to defend and no lionesses of their own. All males start life in a pride, but unlike their sisters, their stay is short. Occasionally, a young male will remain with his natal pride until he is 4 years old. Then he'll wander away of his own accord, driven by his desires to find unrelated females to mate with. But more often, the young males are chased out during a pride takeover. For the next 2 or 3 years, he'll wander the plains fending for himself, a fugitive with no crown or country.